The basic differences between the UMC and the SPS is that the UMC is a 9-well template as against the SPS, which is a 3-well template. The UMC, in addition to having many of the features of the SPS, includes water injection and satellite development, which is over and above that which is included in the SPS.
A, take one.
The basic differences between the underwater manifold center and the SPS is that the underwater manifold center is a 9-well template, whereas the SPS was a 3-well template. The underwater manifold center wells can either be template wells or satellite wells. Satellite being wells which are drilled away from the manifold center and allow a larger area to be drained, a larger area of the reservoir. In addition, there are,
A, take two.
A further difference between the manifold center and the SPS is that the manifold center is capable of water injection. This is the possibility of injecting water from the platform through the manifold center into the reservoir, such that the reservoir can be pressurized.
A, take three.
The satellite wells are wells which are drilled remote from the manifold center and allow a larger area of the reservoir to be drained to the manifold and then to the platform. In addition, water injection was added to the original SPS concept such that water could be injected through the manifold center wells and the satellite wells into the reservoir to give additional pressure maintenance.
How long did this take altogether?
The design commenced in 1976 at a conceptual stage and went through to detailed design, which was completed around about 1979.
How many years altogether?
Amounting to some 3 years of design on the project.
Would like to just say we, in all, the team spent over 3 years on the design work.
This was from the conceptual through the detailed stages such that engineering construction work could commence.
A, take four.
The manifold center, unlike a platform, is extremely difficult to maintain. It involves expensive diving equipment if it is installed in diver depth, or expensive robots to maintain it. As such, it was considered a necessity that the manifold center was fully tested onshore prior to be taken out and installed offshore. To this end, all components that were introduced into the manifold center were thoroughly tested by the manufacturers together with the project team. They were then brought to the assembly site at Bacton and at Schiedam and again tested, but this time from the point of view of integrating various manufacturers' equipment. Having integrated these bits of equipment, tests were then carried out on the tools to transfer them to seabed, the necessary running tools for the various aspects of piling, drilling, completion, and pipeline tie-ins.
Right, well.
It will be installed, or has been installed, in a water depth of 500 foot. To that end, all components were extensively tested at the manufacturer's workshops and then brought to the assembly yard at Schiedam and integrated. That is, putting all the components together and checking out that they fitted successfully. This was done for all the various stages of piling the manifold to seabed and of drilling the wells and of completing them, that is, running the tubulars into the well and installing the Christmas trees. As part of this confidence building measure, and part of the necessity to check the thing out thoroughly, there was an extensive test well carried out, which was P1, the satellite well. This was drilled in 1980 and was a successful operation to drill a well which is similar in many ways to both the template wells and the satellite wells, containing much of the technology of the Manifold Centre and the trees.
Okay, we'll just do that a little bit again. We won't mark it. If you just say in 1980, it's sort of almost the culmination of this testing, if you want to put it like that, and describe us what the P1 well was again, okay?
Let me think for a second. Okay. As to date, it has produced some 4 million barrels of oil with something of the order of a 97% uptime.
Okay, mark it.
B, take 2.
Yeah, talk to the camera. How satisfied?
We feel that it is the forerunner of underwater technology, and this, together with a lot of building blocks being put together by other companies, will advance the future of underwater technology and will allow the oil companies to obtain crude oil and gas from deeper reservoirs, deeper water depth reservoirs, and in addition to extend marginal field development beyond the capabilities presently existing.
Mark it.
C, take 1.
Mr. Jennings, could you say why Shell decided to go subsea? And when you decided to...
Excuse me, you're going to be able to clip this, I know, but I'm trying to look at the lens rather than you,
That's fine.
and I get
Can't
caught.
do it. All right. Do you want to do it again?
I'd rather not see you, actually,
All right.
because my natural inclination is to look at you because you're asking me the question.
Okay. Would like to do it again?
No?
All right.
Not unless you do.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Right. The other thing I would like to know is why Shell chose the Cormorant field. Okay.
Is that enough?
Mark that. Yeah. We'll just mark that. You're going a bit tighter.
Yes.
Towards the end. The question is, how do you assess the significance of the UMC to the future of the offshore oil industry and to Shell Exploration particularly? Okay,
I'm trying to be brief.
that's very good.
D, take 2.
Running. Okay. Why did Shell Exploration decide to go subsea?
The idea of subsea production technology grew some years ago, and our first applications were out in the Far East. And naturally, out of those early tests and early successes, we began to feel confident in this new technology and saw potential applications both in the North Sea and elsewhere, both in conventional water depths and in much deeper water. And so we decided some years ago to develop a fully fledged subsea manifold system here in the North Sea, which would be the pioneer of what could be a very exciting new production technology.
Why did you decide to develop the Cormorant field or choose the Cormorant field for this particular application?
We chose to develop a UMC for Cormorant, primarily because Cormorant is a long, narrow field and all the oil can't be reached from the 2 platforms that we have there. There was a central area of the field, therefore that would have otherwise been undrained, a natural application for this sort of technology.
Thank you.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yes, fine.
Thank you very much.
Few shifty looks, I'm afraid. I'm still not very good at this bunny. You know.